So, sorry I couldn't be there, miss, but I have a ruptured left eardrum and a sinus infection, so I think this would just be better. So, good morning, or good evening, Mrs. Smith. For the profile essay, I chose to write about my twin brother, Christian. I chose to write about him because I think he is a unique and talented brother. This was my first essay I've ever written at the university level, and it was difficult for me. When we first got the prompt, I was so excited to talk about a person who has so much value to me, so I thought writing this would be simple. I did not follow what the prompt said, and I basically talked more about an event he attended rather than actually talking about him as a person. In my rough drafts, I found myself to be too personal while writing, and tended to make myself really involved within this essay. After getting my mark back, I realized the importance of the prompts, and I need to follow them in order to achieve a high mark. This essay had a relatively easy prompt that I did not follow well. I decided to use my resources available at South and got a tutor, who has helped me tremendously, so I recommend to get a tutor. I also learned to take my time and to plan and write an essay. To plan and write for the essay. So with that being said, it was my first essay ever that I wrote, and basically my advice is just to follow exactly what the prompt says, not make it too hard for yourself, and yeah. So for the review essay, I chose to write about a steakhouse in Canada called The Keg. They don't have any locations here in the States of The Keg. So I chose to write a review about The Keg because it's my favorite restaurant of all time. Since this was my second essay I've written in this class, I learned to follow the prompt and be more specific. When I got my rough draft back, I realized I was not specific enough, and I was talking about other people's reviews on this restaurant, and I totally forgot to talk about my own review on it. I learned that rough drafts are important. Therefore, this time around, I was able to note mistakes and change them. When I was following the prompt, it said to be descriptive. I remember in the prompt, it said description of it. So I did not know if that meant to describe the restaurant, like how it looks, or describe like the atmosphere while being there. So in this essay, I was overthinking it. And I always overthink my essays, which I advise students not to do, because when you overthink something, it will not turn out well. And in this essay, that is exactly what I did. And because I just wanted to be perfect, so I could get a high mark. And yeah. So for essay 3, the argument essay, I chose to write about how technology affects young children in the classroom. This was by far the longest essay I've ever written in my entire life. And I definitely learned to not procrastinate and to take my time and go day by day by writing it. And so each day I would plan if I would research or work on the intro or conclusion. So I didn't want to do I didn't want to work on the intro, the body, or like the explanations and the conclusion all in one day. I wanted to do like an intro maybe on the Monday, and then work on like 2 research points on the Tuesday, then on the Wednesday like another 2 research points, and then on the Thursday like my conclusion or something like that. And this would be like a week before it's due. So I did some of that, but I think that if I did it like exactly how I just said it, I would feel like we're less stressed out, because when you don't do that, it's going to be all crammed, and then you're not focused on the actual like researching part. You're just focused on getting it done. So I advise people to take it day by day and not like rush it. I also used the Marks Library on USA Online, and I thought that was very helpful. I got all my like research information on it on USA Online, Marks Library, and I actually had trouble within this essay going from standard form or back and forth form. So for the back and forth, it was like say your point and the other point, or like how they view it and how you view it. So I think I did that, I did that one, and it was just confusing for me because I wanted to do standard form, but it kind of turned into back and forth, so I guess I did back and forth. So yeah, I guess that was like what was difficult for me. And also the word count on this essay, like my essay was 7 pages, and it was hard for me to like reach the word count, which was like, I think I had like almost 2,000 words, but which is like over the count, but I just wanted to be like good and have a lot of information. And then for the rhetorical analysis, I chose to do a Nike ad. I chose to do a Nike ad because I personally enjoy Nike's products, so choosing an ad that I enjoy would probably make it more fun to write about, or at least I thought, or it wasn't that bad, but. So my ad was about 4 minutes, so it was a long ad, but I thought that I did what I had to do. Like, I picked it because I loved the famous athletes in it, like, because they were endorsing the ad. For me, all the essays were hard to meet the word count, but for this essay, I wanted to use all three pathos, logos, and ethos, so I could expand my word count, I'll be honest, but I didn't even end up using logos because there's no really logic behind it. It was mostly just ethos and pathos. And I was using the ad techniques and explaining them were pretty straightforward. I only used pathos and ethos, so my ad did not display logos. I already said that, but yeah. So overall, I advise students to go to the Writing Center because I went there like a couple times, especially for my argument essay. I went there like 3 times, and they really helped. I would advise you to get a tutor because I have a tutor, and she helps me so much with everything. But I got her too late in the semester, and I wish I had her from the beginning. And then I advise to ask questions, like ask Ms. Smith. Like personally, I have had trouble asking questions because I don't feel, I should ask questions, and I should, and so should everybody. Also, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.